In an era where college athletics is as competitive as ever before, the stress among student athletes has brought the battle with mental health to the forefront. At the University of North Carolina at Pembroke, graduate soccer player Rilee Seering celebrates her struggles and triumph with this battle.
Hi, my name is Rilee Seering, and this is my story.
As a star forward out of Cuthbertson High School in Waxhaw, North Carolina, Seering helped lead her team to back-to-back state finals before taking her talent to the Braves at the collegiate level.
I fell in love with Pembroke because of the personal aspect of things. I was getting recruited for soccer by Coach Lars, and he brought me for a visit, and I fell in love with the campus. One of the best things I could hear when I was coming to college is I wasn't just here to play soccer, I was here to get an education, and knowing that Coach was there for me for that, and knowing that my teachers were going to know me and be able to help me through that too, was really the answer to my question of coming to Pembroke.
But the freshman hit her first collegiate obstacle when she was humbled by the talent on the roster.
My freshman year, I came in thinking I was going to be superstar, starter, play all the soccer I want, and I was used to that. And then when I came here, everyone's as good as you are. Everyone's the best of the best. And I couldn't compete with those girls. I didn't finish the fitness test. I wasn't performing the way Coach wanted me to. So it was obvious that Coach was disappointed in how I came in because he saw the good in me. He saw what I could do. And I think that was challenging for me to understand. We got our ring my freshman year, and it was the craziest moment of my life. But then I look back at it, and I touched the field twice maybe that game. I didn't play for that ring, and I think that was one of the hardest things to say is I wanted to play for that ring. I wanted to contribute for that ring. And so come spring, I actually made some poor decisions and ended up having to meet with coaches, and I lost my scholarship. I was lost and confused, didn't know how to approach the situation with my family. I was scared to tell my mom. I was embarrassed to be seen by coaches. I didn't want my teammates knowing. It was really hard.
The loss of Seering's scholarship left her with the option to quit soccer altogether, transfer to a different school, or try and earn her respect back. And with the help of her mother, Seering chose the latter.
I really had to sit down and tell my mom what happened, and I was hurt, and I thought my mom was never gonna look at me the same again, but it was actually reversed. My mom was there for me. My mom helped me and told me, like, it's okay, like, you'll get through this. You play soccer, you love soccer. So that's what made me stay and tell coaches, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna prove to you that this is not me. It was just a mistake, simple mistake, like I'm gonna do better. My fitness was still not where it needed to be. Girls were still beating me and everything, and I was not performing or even earning my scholarship back like I should have. I was, of course, showing Coach that my mistake was not who I was, but my soccer was not improving. So come spring and fall, that next fall, I didn't play. I remember there was one game where I think I stepped on the field for the last minute of, like, before halftime. And I remember walking off bawling my eyes out because it was one of the most embarrassing but realistic things that could have happened to me. Like, I don't deserve to be on this field. I didn't perform or meet the standards that Coach wants us players to be at to win championships. And that fall, we didn't win a championship. That's not all the blame's on me, but it definitely took a toll where if I could have done better, then the team could have done better.
Attempting to achieve the expectations that Seering had set for herself, she enlisted the help of legendary UNCP men's soccer coach Mike Schaefer to help her into playing form.
So that spring, after that season, I started working out with Coach Schaefer, who saw hope in me and gave me a chance and told me he'd push me to do better, and he knows what it is to build a team and knows what it is to see a player be a starter. And so I just remember working so hard and being so excited. I hit my times. I was excited to tell coaches. I was coming out to practices. I was beating people. I was performing. Like, soccer was thriving. That season, I was able to be the starter I dreamed of. I heard my name and I was able to start that game. And I was always so proud of myself for being able to work back up to where I wanted to be.
But the success on the field had come at the cost of stress and overburden for Seering, and her mental health took a toll.
I just went through so much. I ended up struggling still with school, just like not being able to perform as I wanted. Soccer was great, but soccer wasn't everything for me. I still didn't have my whole scholarship. I was looking at things differently. It was like, why is everything still hard for me, or why am I still struggling? And there was just one day where I was in the training room and I broke down. I just cried. My trainer, Lissa, she brought me in and just asked me a few questions and just noticed that I was struggling with just some anxiety and possibly depression just from a lot of things I've been through. That's when she brought me to CAPS, and she's like, go see someone. Let's go talk to someone just about what's going on.
CAPS, or Counseling and Psychological Services, is a therapy service offered by the university to students to help promote a healthy campus climate.
They just sat me down and asked me a whole bunch of questions about what I was going through and what was bothering me, and it was good. It was really good to start. I was able to finally kind of let things out that I was scared to talk about, just knowing that I cared so much about what people thought about me, and I put a lot of people through ups and downs just from my decisions, and I didn't know how to look at things. It got to a point where I was getting busy, school was getting hard, I still had study hall, and it was hard to prioritize CAPS and prioritize soccer and school. So I put that aside and I didn't really focus on myself. I just kind of focused on what I needed to do. I needed to keep performing, I needed to keep doing well in school, I needed to keep helping my family and letting them know like I'm doing my best to earn everything back. So it was a good season. I mean, we made a good run. I had a good season personally. I was building better relationships with the team, and everything seemed to be better than what it was. When I got back, for some reason I wasn't good. Didn't want to leave my room. I couldn't fall asleep. I struggled with wanting to be at practice. I struggled at wanting to have conversations with anybody. I was going through a lot of drama. My actions weren't me. I was very angry at times. My emotions were everywhere. It just wasn't Rilee.
Following the 2019 season, all of the bottled up emotions had finally spilled over.
Come February, I was sitting in my car and I just really remember asking myself, like, what's the point? What was the point? Like, why was I here? I didn't feel like I was doing anything right anymore. I didn't feel like I just felt like the world was against me. And so I chose that night to take my own life, and I was actually found by my roommate in my car, and she rushed me to the ER. I was in the hospital for about 2 days. I just remember my mom didn't want to drive. She couldn't leave the house because she was so in shock of what happened. That next day my mom came, and I remember you have a little babysitter sitting in there with you at all times to make sure nothing else happened. So when my mom came in that room, she actually stepped out to let my mom and I have like a moment. And so my mom just gave me a big hug. I know she had 1,000 questions, and my mom didn't understand like why her daughter wouldn't want to be here.
Seering was in the hospital for 2 days before she was taken home to spend time with her family and contemplate her options.
Unfortunately, no one knew except some of my roommates. And I missed practices, I missed everything. And I was finally, when I realized like there's still real life outside of where I was when I got released, I didn't really know how to handle it. I didn't know how to go about talking to anyone or anything. I remember getting a phone call, and it was coaches, and coaches let me know that they understand what's going on. They 100% there for me. The school knows the situation, and the school is here to talk to you and work with you through it. So take a week, figure out what needs to happen, spend time with your family, everything's okay. But I made the decision to come back to school. I couldn't sit at home, even though it might have been the safest bet. I couldn't sit at home. So that's when my mom and I were able to sit down and talk to the CAPS program and the CARE program at Pembroke, and just coaches and what's going on. CAPS made it clear that they were gonna be there for me. They also made it clear that there was accommodations that they'd make for my schooling to help me just with some stuff I was struggling with. I think that was the biggest thing I noticed after all of it, was just the love and care I got from the university. So it was really eye-opening to see, even though after everything I went through, all the ups and downs I had with coaches, they were there for me regardless. The love I found from my coaches, the love I found from the university, even though I might not have been the best student or the best soccer player at the time, they didn't care. They cared about me personally, and I think that was the biggest thing that helped me through this. I was able to get back on my feet without being looked at as somebody that made a terrible decision.
As Seering worked on her recovery, the help that others provided her led her to discovering a passion for counseling and therapy, which she would embrace wholeheartedly.
The biggest thing when it came to CAPS, Lindy actually helped me a lot. Love her. She was a big advocate of sports here. She's a big advocate of understanding even athletes are going to go through hard times, even athletes need a break. The amount of love and help they give to others, it was something that I realized that I enjoyed. I loved bringing smiles to people's faces. I loved being able to be there for someone when no one else was. Being able to look at my mental health and know that I'm not the only one going through hard things was really the reason why counseling is something I started to love. I don't think I really even understood counseling until I started going through hard times, which is the reason why I was I want to go into counseling. I want to advocate for counseling. It's so important. People's mental health is a daily struggle. Having the program here was a blessing. I could apply and stay here, a school that I know supported me, and a school I know that I love. So I was able to apply and start off at my master's program as in counseling, and I think it's been the best decision of my life, and I think that's something that really brings me confidence to keep doing better every day. Is I want to be able to tell people that even though you're going through the rock bottom like I went through, it can get better. My last year, I was able to play, graduate, and I was able to just succeed.
And succeed she did, as in Searing's final season, she led her squad in points and goals and was a crucial part of the Braves' 11-1 conference record, the Conference Carolinas tournament win, and the berth to the Division II NCAA Southeast Regional.
Team Seering at the top, sends a shot in, and it's Rilee Seering, the hat trick.
Ashley Harris, Rilee Seering, 2-0 UNCP in the first half.
Does this one into the 18, tries to find a head, it's Seering into the net.
The UNC Pembroke Braves are the queens of Conference Carolinas.
On top of the athletic achievements, Seering is preparing to go to grad school for counseling and start her career thanks to her coaches and family.
Being able to look at coaches and tell them thank you for everything, even though I know it wasn't easy to take away my scholarship. I know it wasn't easy to look at me and say, Rilee, you need to do better, you need to run, you don't even need to touch a ball, just run, please. Those aren't easy conversations to have. So that was one of the biggest pushes, is the respect I had for my coaches for being there for me, even though it wasn't the easiest conversations. It was just being able to show everyone that I wasn't this weak girl. I wasn't this person who just gave up. Like, yes, everyone makes mistakes. I've heard it my whole life. Everyone makes mistakes. But it's what you do after the mistake. And I think that was the biggest thing for me, is I didn't want to be the person that just stopped. I'm 100% grateful for my family. It's been 2 years, and I think my sisters have finally started fighting with me again. I want to just tell everyone it's okay, that I'm okay, that I've grown tremendously and that I'm still growing. And that, yeah, some days might not be perfect, but I'm still the same Rilee. And if I had to give advice to any student athlete here at Pembroke, I would say be open. If you know you're struggling or you know things are hard, don't be afraid to go tell someone. Don't be afraid to walk into CAPS. Don't be afraid to look at your coaches and ask for mental health day, because sometimes just being able to take a day for yourself will take you miles.
Seering remains thankful to the university as she credits Pembroke's help in allowing her to find her calling.
I've learned that this university has been there for me. From the reason why I loved it is the same reason why I love it today. It's always been personal. Everyone's there for you. It's sad to realize that I've learned that because of what I went through, but that's why I'm speaking now, is to be able to share that if you come here, that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get these professionals that don't only just do their job, but put 110% into the relationships outside of their job, and knowing that they're there for you regardless. And it's crazy to see that Pembroke does have a motto, and it's changing lives through education, and I never really understood it, never really cared for it. It wasn't the reason I came here. But now I can sit here and say Pembroke changed my life through education. They helped me continue my education. They brought me to what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Searing's hard work to overcome failure and hardships is a testament to her character as she continues to uphold what it means to be a brave and what it means to be a champion.
I love everyone that has been there for me, and I wouldn't change a day in my life. So yeah. Thanks for having me. Woo!
Did it.
I did it. Oh my God.